Okay, hello YouTubers, and today I am finally reviewing this, which is the Sonic Prime Tails 9 New York City figure, and this is the 5-inch figure from Jakks Pacific. So, yeah, and let's just dive into it. So, the first thing I'll mention before I start anything in this review, just like most of the Sonic figures, and especially the Tails figures in particular, this thing is a nightmare to actually stand up unaided. In fact, I haven't been able to get this one to actually stand up unaided without him literally toppling over. So, yeah, that for collectors who like to put, figures on display on shelves, you're going to have to prop this up or lean it against something to stop him from basically falling over his own weight. But regardless of that, let's get into this review. So, taking a look at the head, the detail on that, it is, as ever, absolutely fantastic. Nice sharp paint details on that. No rub or anything like that, or paint bleeds. The head itself has had this sort of fur texture and that sculpted into it. Kind of reminds me of what they did on the Movie Tales figure. But yeah, it is really nice. I'm glad it's not just, completely smooth in that as well. It matches how he looks in Sonic Prime a lot better in that as well. And it just brings out that sort of extra level of detail on that into it. And the expression... Yeah, it's not normally an expression we see regular Tails use, but obviously, this version, very much so. So, yeah, very happy with that. Taking a look onto, obviously, the actual Tails themselves. So we've got two real Tails at the end here, which are the only two Tails that aren't actually articulated. You can swivel them like this, not independently from each other, but that's basically about it for them. You can also move them out and back slightly in that as well. But again, they're blocked by the mechanical tails, which are the main highlights in that here. And yeah, just look at them. Each one of these is on a peg ball joint here, so you can manipulate them and move them any which way you want, even the little pincer and that at the end. And they are also the correct colour on that as well, but the fact that each of them is articulate in that way means you can pose them in a variety of poses, and you can sort of wrap them around his actual tails, though not to the same extent we see in the actual show itself. But still, the fact that, it is an option, although I'll be honest, I think most people are probably going to do it in a more dramatic pose. That is also how he's posed in the box and that as well. But the fact that all of them are articulated does make that difference in basically upping, I guess playability if you're a kid, but also if you're an adult, posability. Taking a look at his hoodie, I guess for lack of a better word, it is still got all the details and that you would. Even down here having the little cross section and that on here, which is really struggling to pick up on the camera. But you can see also the hood, and that is sculpted and that around the back as well. It's really hard trying to get footage of that with the tails and that in the way. And he's just wearing his shorts and these really odd shoes and that as well. But yeah, basically in terms of detailing and everything else, pretty damn good. There are peg holes and that in the bottom, so if you do have a base that supports them, you could put it in there. But even then, you need a pretty large base because this is a pretty hefty figure. And also, before I go into articulation, one thing I was curious about these figures is basically the scale of them. They decided to go for a 5-inch scale as opposed to a 4-inch scale, which is slightly larger than all of the other Jakks Pacific Sonic figures, which, if I should have grabbed it earlier. But if I grab a standard Tails, you can see here that the New York City Tails 9 figure is slightly taller. Now, yeah, I'm not sure why they've done this. I honestly don't know. I think possibly because the Sonic Prime figures are trying to be more of a collector's thing, possibly. I don't know. I honestly don't know to this day. I don't know why with these they decided to do that, but yeah, it's just a weird thing that I noticed. However, You know, although you probably could get away in certain bits, you know, having them together. Yeah, it's just, I just find it a bit odd. I just find it a bit odd because the Sonic movie figures, they were still in the 4-inch scale. So, yeah, it is just a thing. So these are very separate and that from those. So it's a bit of a weird thing, but it does differentiate them. I also didn't go over the gloves and that as well. The little details and that on the gloves. Again, if it ever wants to focus. The fingers look like they're articulated, but they're actually not. They're just one solid piece. Something I will mention is that this hand is clearly sculpted to hold something, hold an accessory, and unfortunately he comes with absolutely nothing, which, yeah, I am surprised about that. He doesn't come with anything whatsoever, because the other figure, Amy, or Thorn, I should say, comes with her hammer, so I am surprised that Tails 9 doesn't come with anything whatsoever, so, because even considering, if I grab the Mattel, or is this Bandai? I can't remember. It's that company. If I grab that Tails figure here, even they included this accessory in that, which is in his opposite hand, but is removable and that. So, yeah, I'm pretty surprised that Jakks Pacific didn't include that with this, especially considering what we're going to next, which is the price of these. So, I'm going to go by UK prices, because that's where I live, so if you live somewhere else, well, you'll have to look up the prices and that yourself for these. But here in the UK, I got this from Smyths Toys for $14.99. Now, the only two places so far I've seen these in the UK that are selling these is Smyths Toys and also the Toy Entertainer. And the prices are different. At Smyths Toys, they're $14.99 each. At Toy Entertainer, they're £18 each. Yeah, I don't know why they're £3 more at Smyths Toys, not Smyths Toys, Toy Entertainer than at Smyths Toys. I really don't know why. So yeah, if you're thinking about getting it, get from Smyths Toys. It could be a case of Funko Snaps where the price suddenly goes up like a month into them selling it. So if that's the case, then I would get it before long. Taking a look at the packaging for this, it is absolutely huge, and the reason is because it's got a big bit of cardboard on that at the top as well. But yeah, it is a really massive box and that for these figures. When you see them in person, the packaging of these it's just so much larger because it's got a massive piece of cardboard and that at the top, but also the depth of them as well. Taking a look at the back, you can see the figure and that on the back, and this is either a CGI render or it's a prototype image, because on here they've actually done the arms in actual silver, whereas the final one is actually done in grey plastic. Though, to be honest, I think the grey plastic and that does actually match what is seen on screen and that better. Though, again, it kind of depends on the lighting, because sometimes it looks lighter, sometimes it looks darker, just depends. But they also boast about this having 70 points of articulation and all these other things, which, yeah, the fact that all these figures and that have so much articulation and that to them, and are also in a 5-inch scale as opposed to a 4-inch scale, makes me think that maybe these are designed more towards collectors. I mean, generally all Jakks Pacific stuff is gearing towards collectors anyway, but particularly these, with the amount of that articulation to them, generally does make them seem like they're much more focused on being more collector's items than anything else, which does make me surprised for the price of them, because bear in mind, a 4-inch figure retails for normally about £10 or £11 depending on the store. These being basically £4 or £5 more, even more if you get them from Toy Entertainer. Just like, is there that extra value there? I mean, I don't regret getting this. It is a lovely figure, and I do like the fact I picked up two because I wanted one sealed. But yeah, it's just kind of like leveling that out. So yeah, I will say I'm gonna wait on the Sonic figure, because as ever, the Sonic figures, they will just last the longest, because there's always more Sonic figures than anything else in a Jakks Pacific bundle. These seem to be coming in pallets of 5, because when I ordered this from Smiths, literally I got this the day they got a delivery in. They had 5 Tails, they had 5 Mr. Dr. Eggmans, they had 5 Thorns. I can't remember how many Sonics in that they had. But yeah, they weren't available actually on the store floor. They'd only just gotten the delivery, so worth asking in the back or checking on the website. But yeah, regardless, I do really love this figure. Actually, I should go over the articulation a little bit, actually. So we've got a ball-jointed head, which does give it a variety of different poses, a lot more than a standard one. And also the arm joints in that as well, with the swivel, extra swivel joints. Yeah, that's all I'm going to go over, really. But yeah, there's a lot more articulation, including the ankle joints in that as well. And obviously, all of the mechanical arms and that as well. So yeah, that's all I'm going to go over on that. But do I recommend this? Yes, and if you skipped the cheaper ones, this is definitely your answer to it. This is definitely much more of a collector's thing. So yeah, highly recommend it. And that's it for this video, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.